that this Committee of Adjustment meeting held on March 23rd, 2022 come to order at 7:03 p.m. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Cooney, seconded by Vanderwill. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest this evening? I see none. Thank you. The Committee of Adjustment minutes dated February 23rd, 2022. Any issues or concerns with them? Not seeing any. I have a motion then that the Committee of Adjustment minutes dated February 23rd, 2022 be adopted as presented. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Cooney, seconded by Vanderwill. And all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Mr. Webster is online, but he is not on video. Oh, he's now on cell phone and online. Okay, welcome to the Committee of Adjustment meeting to allow the public an opportunity to express their views regarding proposed minor variance and consents within the Township of Springwater. Each applicant and their agent, if applicable, will be given the opportunity to present the applications to the committee and public. Additional information on each of the applications, including any presentation materials, is available in the committee agenda on the Township website. Following, those members of the public whom registered to make oral submissions prior to 4:30 p.m. yesterday, March 22nd, 2022, will be given an opportunity to do so. All oral submissions will be included in this meeting's minute and form part of the public record, including the name and addresses of the speaker as information collected under the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. Minutes of the meeting will be posted on the Township's website. All questions and comments are to be addressed through the chair. Will the Secretary Treasurer please introduce the first application, item number 4.1 on the agenda?
Yes, thank you, Chair Gannon. Item 4.1 on the agenda is minor variance application A1322 submitted by J and S Howell, owners of lands known municipally as 1 or 1121 Carson Road. The purpose and effect of the application is to permit the construction of a detached accessory building, garage, measuring 83.61 square meters in the rear yard. The proposed garage will have a rear yard depth of 1 meter, whereas section 13.3.9b requires a minimum rear yard depth of 3 meters. An exterior side yard width of 2.2 meters, whereas section 13.3.9c requires a minimum exterior side yard width of 15 meters, and a height of 5.16 meters, whereas section 3.7.5b permits a maximum height of 4.5 meters, or the height of the dwelling, whichever is the lesser.
Thank you. Has there been any additional correspondence or comments that have been received?
A comment was received from the Township's manager of roads and fleet stating that additional access entrance onto the property from Glen Huron Drive is not permitted due to a 1-foot reserve that runs the length of the property.
Thank you. May I have the applicant please introduce themselves and explain to us what it is that you're looking to do.
Hi, good evening.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure if Diana is going to represent for me or if you'd like me to speak on that. I'm not sure. So I don't know if you've unmuted Diana.
Yeah, Jason, I was, sorry, Secretary Berenger. I was just trying to start my video.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's okay. The video is not required. Thank you, Secretary Treasurer Berenger. Thank you, Jason. I'll proceed with the presentation. So as the 3 variances have been noted, let me just see here. Yeah, so the hydro easement / corridor has created a certain building envelope, as you see on the site plan. So that's why we are going for the noted variances. The proposed 2.2 meters to the exterior side yard setback is keeping with the minimum 2 meter setback that Public Works requires from the exterior side property line. And then the 1 meter to the rear yard is a minimal setback requirement from what's required. So, and then the height is just due to, on one side of the garage, the owner is wishing to park, any recreational type vehicles where the increase in height would allow for that. So I think mainly here is the actual building envelope creates or makes us need to go for these variances close to the two property lines. If Jason, do you want to add anything to that, or?
No, other than, I'll respect the fact that, I can't have access from Glen here. That's fine. It's really not its intended purpose anyways, so that is okay. Other than that, it's unfortunate. I'm kind of squeezed by that, the hydro easement. It's, I have to respect that corridor, and that's fine. The original plan was to go a little bit bigger with a garage, but I mean, that's fine. We squeezed it into where we could. And hopefully that's allowable, but yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public registered to make any oral submissions this evening?
Thank you. There are no members of the public who have registered to make an oral submission, Chair.
Thank you. Committee members, any comments, questions, concerns? Go ahead, Member Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm having problems hearing the video through this meeting tonight. I don't know if anybody else is. No? Okay. So just with regards to the application, there was no response from Ontario Hydro. Were they circulated?
No, we did not receive any response from Ontario Hydro, and we did circulate to them both by email and mail.
Okay, so my concern with this application is similar to the previous application we saw before us from, I believe it was Sador, who are immediately east side flankage of Glen Huron. They had originally thought that their distance from the hydro corridor to their building setback was acceptable. Took many months for them to get in contact with Ontario Hydro, at which time they found out that they did have to make another minor adjustment. My understanding is the requirement is 25 meters from the center line of the hydro easement. And I just want to clarify that the applicant is aware and that he does have that distance to the building. With a meter setback at the rear yard, there's very little wiggle room as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I could take this, Diana. I was proactive in this because I wasn't sure if I would have any room back there to put a garage. So I did call Hydro about probably 3 months ago. They sent a surveyor out. We went through the whole property and we found all of their lot line pins, and which basically outlines what the easement corridor is. So we've done that, and I found them all, and that's what the plan looks like. So I am aware of it, and the surveyor himself, him and I sat there with tape measures and all kinds of stuff, and he said there shouldn't be an issue. There was lots of space there.
Thank you. So you have sign off then from Hydro that the setbacks are acceptable to them?
Well, I mean, my property's surveyed and the easement is there. I mean, the corridor is there. It's a proper survey. If I don't go onto their easement, which I know I can't, there's zero wiggle room for that. And we discussed that with the surveyor. Then as far as I'm concerned, that's my property and I'm okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Go ahead, Planner Belcourt.
Thank you, Chair Gannon. Through you to Member Kennedy. I might ask Diana to speak on this about the Sador application, as she was also the agent on that file as well. My understanding was that Sador's did not have that survey work done prior to their first application. And once that survey work was done, that was what led to it. So Mr. Houle has done the survey work in this regard in advance, rather than waiting till after the application like Sador had originally done. But Diana, maybe you can clarify that.
So I actually wasn't part of Ouellette and Associates when that occurred. So I just came on, and I came on basically just before we were ready to send in the second minor variance application for Sador. And I was under the, everything was good to go for us to submit. And as far as we were concerned, there were no issues with hydro any longer, and we proceeded with the second minor variance application for Sador.
Thank you. Member Vander Wieland, did you have a question?
Through you, Chair Gannon, to the applicant. So to get entrance into that building with regards to any equipment or anything, do you come in on the east side of your house then?
Well, I could go up from my driveway. I've got it gated there now and across, but Diana and I were speaking about this. It's right next to my neighbor's driveway, and I don't think it would be an issue, but if you're putting in a pool or doing something temporarily on your property, I think it's allowable to remove. I have a small fence there right now, just a wire fence, just to move, material in. I mean, it wouldn't be any massive, heavy equipment by any means, just to access it right there off of Glen Huron temporarily, and then put my fence back up.
Go ahead again.
Yeah, but so you're making the building higher than what's actually allowed to allow for, and you've got a big tall garage door. So like, I didn't see any room for you to get back in there. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, the original plan had access from Glen Huron before I knew that I wasn't allowed to access from there, which is fine. It was going to be a drive-through kind of thing. The high door, I don't know that I'm going to go with that anymore because I can't access from there. So it'll be used from my front yard. I could put a vehicle back there or my quad. The reason for the height, I want to put a golf simulator into it. So you need a higher ceiling. That's why I went with the higher ceiling. So yeah.
Thank you. Member Kennedy, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Then through you, Mr. Chair, to either the planner or the applicant, the existing gate that is on Glen Huron, will that a requirement of this be that the gate be removed, since there is a 1 foot reserve along the flankage of that property, so that there is no vehicular access into the side yard?
Yeah, my understanding that gate is a hydro gate. It's for hydro access to that easement.
Go ahead, Planner Belcourt.
Through consultation with the Public Works Department, which was had, they did not indicate any need to remove any existing gates. However, they did note that no new driveway or access would be permitted. And that's stated through my report and through the comments, and Mr. Houle is aware of that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? No, we move ahead then with the resolution to accept this. I have a motion then for A 1322, that the Committee of Adjustment, having given consideration to the applicable provisions of Section 45 of the Planning Act, the official plan of the Township of Springwater, characteristics of the land in question and its surrounding as addressed in the planning report on the application dated March 23rd, 2022, correspondence received and information presented at the hearing held on March 23rd, 2022, and the discussion on the matter, hereby approve application A 13-2022 as applied for. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Cooney. Seconded by Vander Wieland. Those in favor? Carried. Thank you. There is a 20-day waiting period before you can do anything further, sir.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Member Webster votes in favor, by the way.
Thank you, Mr. Webster. Okay, will the Secretary Treasurer please introduce the next application, item number 4.2 on the agenda?
Thank you. Sorry about that. I was muted there. Item 4.2 on the agenda are minor variance applications A1422 and A1522 submitted by Celeste Phillips Planning Inc. on behalf of Stone Manor Operating Corp., owner of the lands known municipally as 39 and 41 Sanford Circle. The purpose and effect of the applications is to recognize existing lot frontages and areas for 2 lots created through the plan of subdivision process and correct a clerical error in the zoning of the properties. The applicant is requesting a minimum frontage of 12.8 meters, whereas section 4.4.48.4 of the zoning bylaw requires a minimum of 15.8 meters and a minimum area of 420 square meters, whereas section 4.4.48.4 of zoning bylaw 5000 requires a minimum of 520 square meters.
Thank you. Has there been any additional correspondence or comments?
No public or agency comments have been received for these applications.
Thank you. I'd like the applicant to introduce themselves and explain what is required here, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of committee. My name is Celeste Phillips. I'm a land use planning consultant. I'm speaking to you this evening on behalf of the owner of the property, Stone Manor Operating Corp. Lot number 39 and 41 Sanford Circle are part of the final phase of the Stone Manor Woods plan of subdivision in Center Vespra. The plan was registered as Plan 51M1213 just before Christmas. This application, prior to registration, of course, went through a public process, and the lot sizes were reviewed by staff, by the public, and by council at the time that the subdivision plan was approved. When the zoning was applied to the land, there was a mapping error. And in front of you, you have a very thorough report written by your staff member. And it's my position, I agree with her completely, that the application is minor in nature in that it's a clerical error. The request conforms to the official plan. It meets the general intent of your zoning bylaw. And the 2 lot sizes, as I mentioned, were correctly identified in presentations to the public. They are consistent in size with lots in the immediate area, as well as consistent with lot sizes in the previous 3 phases of Stone Manor Woods. And so my request to you this evening is that you approve the minor variances for the 2 lots. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public registered to make any oral submissions this evening?
There are no members of the public who have registered to make an oral submission.
Thank you. Committee, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns? Member Vanderwill, go ahead.
Through you, Chair, to the person representing, what were the lots that are in you're talking about?
The municipal address, Mr. Vanderwilden, is 39 and 41 Sanford Circle. So these are located west of Dobson Road, close to the hydro corridor in Center Vespra.
So on our package, they stated that it's lot 20 and 21.
That's correct. And in the package, I believe you have the registered plan. And so the registered plan numbers are reflective of how the plan was registered and not the municipal addresses. So I think the proper legal description is lots 20 and 21, Plan 51M1213. It's just that they now been assigned a municipal address of 39 and 41 Sanford Circle.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead, Mr. Cooney. You're muted, Lauren.
Through the chair to Ms. Phillips. Hi, Celeste.
Hi.
Just to clarify, you have, there's, as you said, there are similar lots within this plan of subdivision where the housing units have been constructed on the same size lot.
Correct.
So it wouldn't deal or wouldn't have any issue with municipal services or drainage or anything like that because you already have units that fit these lots.
Exactly, Junie.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? And Mr. Webster, we can see the top of your forehead and that's all. That's better. Thank you. I have a motion then for A1422 and A1522 that the Committee of Adjustment, having given consideration of the applicable provisions of the Section 45 of the Planning Act, the official plan of the Township of Springwater, characteristics of the land in question and its surroundings as addressed in the planning report on the application dated March 23rd, 2022, correspondence received and information presented at the hearing held on March 23rd, 2022, and the discussion on the matter hereby approve application A14/22 and A15/22 as applied for. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Kennedy, seconded by Cooney. All in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you, members committee.
Is there any other business to discuss this evening? Not seeing any. We go to item 6.1. Oh, I'm sorry, Henry, did you wanting to discuss something?
Yeah, just, is there any talk of having, coming back to, meetings at the office?
I will actually direct that to CAO Schmidt, who happens to be sitting on the air this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to Member Vanderwielen. There is a staff report that will be coming to Council on April 6th to discuss process moving forward with respect to Council and committee meetings, so whether it's in person, hybrid, or some other method. So that will be discussed April 6th and considered by Council. Staff can get in contact with Chair Gannon and committee members and let you know the path forward.
Thank you.
Any other new business? No. Item number 6.1 then, we've received a notice of hearing consent for application B17-2021 from the Ontario Land Tribunal. I have a motion then that the Committee of Adjustment receive the correspondence as attached as item 6.1 to the agenda, being a notice of hearing for consent application B1721 from the Ontario Land Tribunal. I have a mover and a seconder to receive this, please. Moved by Cooney, seconded by Kennedy. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. All right, we have to move to adjourn this meeting before we go to the next one. So the Committee of Adjustment meeting held on March 23rd, 2022 does now adjourn at 7:26 p.m. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Webster, seconded by Kennedy. All in favor? Thank you. This ends the Committee of Adjustment meeting. We will pause for 2 minutes while we get set up for the next closed session meeting.
Chair Gannon, do I have audio here?
Yeah.
Yes, you do, sir. Very well.
Great, wonderful, thank you.
So you will have seen that you would have got 2 emails from the Township of